DreamHack ASTRO Open is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
Well, today, DreamHack is the world's largest digital festival. DreamHack's core origin is the LAN party with the two major festivals in Sweden, DreamHack Summer in June, and of course, DreamHack Winter in November, except for this year, it's in December. DreamHack also arranges festivals, events, competitions in several locations, including Europe and North America. In 2007, DreamHack was awarded with a Guinness Book of World Records record for having the most connections out of one venue at any one time. But none of that would be possible without our sponsors over at ASTRO, Zowie, Corsair, and Intel. And I think I might be forgetting one.
Which is the one? What's the one?
I think we'll just crack open a cold Monster Energy with the boys. Oh, yeah.
Monster Energy.
I hope you guys got the full sound effect of that at home because
spill it. Yeah.
Delicious, delightful. The green one, my favorite. Just like Group B, the last one of the day. Let's go ahead and take a look at this last best of three and just how we got to this point. Mousesports and BiG will be the last one that we look at this afternoon.
Battle of the German organizations.
Yeah, there it is. A lot of deep history within these two lineups and these two names.
I've heard they hate each other. I heard when they see each other walking down the halls, they're pinning each other up against the wall. I don't know. I was going to go somewhere else with that, but...
Well, there we go. That's it. You like that, Pimp? Either way, guys, one best of three. One of these teams will be going on to the semifinals, and one of them will be going home. Ultimately, though, I guess I could just start by asking you guys, which one has the most approved?
Wow. Probably Mousesports. I think they're in a better position, right, to be considered a top 10, or at least, you know, within that cusp, that realm. They have the potential there with the stars, and I think for them to lose to BiG would not be the word I'm trying to dance around is embarrassing, because that's not the case at all. I think, you know, you would say the Mousesports are the favorites. That's where I want to go in this one. So I think they'd have more to prove to not losing to the underdog in this scenario.
Hey, that guy's got your hat, Chad.
What?
He's got your hat.
Oh, damn. All right. All right.
Well, either way, I mean, when we look at this Mousesports lineup, the fact that we're seeing them in an elimination game is almost kind of something that doesn't make sense when you look at this team on paper.
You could say so, but then again, Envious did play well yesterday, so that's why they're here. Like, both teams would be disappointed going out in the group stages. BiG is a legendary status team at the major, you know, that says it all. Mousesports is a team that is to be considered, I'd say, like a contender for the top 10 spot, right? If not, they're already in there. So neither of these teams want to go out in the group stage, and a lot is on stake for both teams to end 2016 on a good note.
Last time these guys met was actually at a DreamHack Open in Denver. And it was in the Group B winners match, and BiG took it 16-10 on none other than Train with a phenomenal CT half.
Well, when we're looking at this best of three at least, is there a chance we're going to see Train again? That is a question we will get to in due time. Either way, the steam has to pick up here. The energy has to come alive as we look at this Mousesports team.
They've got to drink the monsters, mate. How else are you going to get you energy this late in the day? Sure, there was a long best of three that just took place, and this man on your screen looking festive, looking dashing. This is Sticker. He got a bit done. He had that crazy 1v4 versus North Academy early on in the tournament. And then you got Sunny the Finn towards the end here. We have stars from regions across the board all coming together under this Mousesports banner.
Did you mean to do that? The dashing part? I think that was pretty good. He was looking dashing, you know, like Dasher, Prancer.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a reach, but I went for it. So.
No, my words are always measured. I have never spoken out of my ass once in my life.
Not once, and today will be no different, will it, Chad? Let's go ahead and flip the script, look at BiG. Pimp, talk to me about this BiG lineup.
I mean, we have the guy in the picture right now, Tapson, already beasting it out at this tournament. The second guy in the picture is Nex, who is supposed to be his secondary man in army, if you could say so. Like, he should be the secondary star of the team. He's been struggling a little bit finding the level that we think he have. He's been showing glimpses of it online. He's been showing glimpses of it online. As you said, at Denver, he was the main carry, winning that match for BiG back then. So he definitely has it. It just hasn't been consistent. And in a matchup like Mousesports or versus Mousesports today, I think we need not only tabseN to go up, but also Nyx if BiG want to stand a chance to take this one.
Legia needs a strong start, right? We saw that on the first map in that series earlier today. He had a couple of frags on the pistol and he carried that one through. And then moving on to the second map, he got 1 kill on the pistol. Maybe he needs 2. Maybe that's his caveat. Let's actually someone monitor that, because you've probably been in this position, same position as me. I played with players in the past who, if they get off to a slow start, if they're not getting those eco farm frags, if they're not getting kills on the pistol round, they're going to be quiet for the rest of the game. And that's not something you can have if you are this big roster going up against Mousesports.
There's a lot of players like that, yeah. Myself, I was more like the type of guy who got a good start and then never did anything.
Oh, okay. You just had your impact early
exactly.
and then tape it off.
Same for you, probably. So,
well, I'll have you know, over the 4 maps that tabseN has played at this event so far, he is sitting with the highest rating at a 1.53, just over Simple at a 1.48. So tabseN certainly having an impact here for BiG, but it's not going to just be tabseN that needs to come alive and come online for this team to go home with a win here.
We touched on Nex, but there's also Kiev, and he's going to have his hands full going head-to-head, toe-to-toe with Oscar. And we haven't actually seen a lot from Oscar this event. He hasn't come out of his shell in the sense that we would be expecting thus far. He is normally a bit of a beast. He's normally carry mode, getting the clutches in there for Mousesports. So a factor which is definitely going to come into play here. I'm just curious if the long day is going to have taken more of a toll on BiG, right? They've been here, they've played that best of 3. They could be a little bit lethargic. And this is where the question marks about, that mental will, that mental fortitude has got been able to formulate a new plan going into this matchup comes into play.
Comes into play. Well, I think the play that I'm going to have to ask Mr. Pimp to make it this time. You know what? I need at least 3 reasons, big guy.
Big guy. I got 3 reasons why you should watch extra carefully for these 3 players that I'm going to mention now. First off is tabseN. We already mentioned him. He's been playing hearts out this tournament thus far. Seems like he's back in shape, back in form. He was the driving force behind this BiG team making the legendary status at the last major, quite surprisingly, aside from the jump bug. And again, if he can keep it up, then BiG have a chance of actually making it through these group stages. So he's currently the highest rated player, as the Thresh said, and if he keeps that up in this game, I think BiG stand a decent chance of taking down Mousesports. Second guy we need to keep an eye out for is Oscar, and the reason why that is not obviously because he's a great player and usually the star carry for Mousesports, but obviously also because he had a very bad start to the tournament yesterday. He's the worst rated player for Mousesports thus far in the tournament, and that's not like Oscar. That's not how we normally see him on this Mousesports lineup. So he needs to get rolling. Otherwise, I think he's going to get eaten by Kiev, and he looks like a hungry guy sometimes. Third guy you have to look for is GotB. He has a past with Mousesports, a long past. He used to be their in-game leader, playing with Chris J, playing with some of those guys, and now he's in BiG. I think this means more to GotB than it means to any of the other big players. They want to beat Mousesports. Even though Mousesports isn't a German lineup anymore, they're still a German organization, and I still think GotB have a little grudge that he want to edge out and take this win and send Mousesports home to their respective countries.
Ooh, that sign-off right there at the end of the 3 reasons just got me. I feel it, Pimp.
You feel it?
I feel it.
Okay.
And more importantly, I feel like we should probably look at what maps these teams are going to be playing on.
It's important.
Again, yes, a best of 3. A lot of things on the line when it comes down to where these maps land. Because if you start off from the wrong map, then you might just be
in the wrong place.
Might be SOL, I think, is the terminology. Either way, we're going to see these first set of banned maps come out. Hold your lulls, hold your applause. Hold all of that in chat for just 1 second. We're going to see Nuke and Cash, the first banned maps, as we have our first 2 picks coming out as well.
No surprise there, I guess.
Yeah, I got no idea where this one's going, to be completely honest with you. We said last time they played on Train. We got BiG picking into Overpass. That's a map, I think that Mousesports have a scary composition for Overpass, right? The mobility of Oscar with the AWP, Chris J on that secondary, the Mousesports Mirage pick. That's Oscar's playground. That's a map where he definitely gets in the thick of it and can have a huge impact and then find a lot of success.
Yeah. Probably the best map for Oscar in a whole. Mirage is always Oscar's playground.
Oscar's playground does not sound like somewhere I'm trying to hang out, to be honest.
Could end up on Train or Cobble as the third. If it's Train, we get that rematch from Denver, but that's when this Mousesports roster was in its infancy. And it will be Cobblestone. This is a map where we did see success from Mousesports early on, albeit against North Academy. But it was very convincing. And Rops, he had a fantastic showing there. So across the board, stylistically speaking, it's going to be a hard one for the guys from BiG to get involved in early, because their Overpass before, it looked a bit sketchy. It looked very reliant. Well, most of their maps have looked very reliant on tabseN dropping 20, right? He's had to get 20 kills on every single one of their games in today's best of threes to even get them to this stage. So got to make sure he's still here. Got to make sure he's still firing on all cylinders. That is unfortunately just the way you have to look at it, right? When you have to put that caveat there, we were doing the same thing with Simple. The guy has to beast if they want a chance to win maps. And going against Mousesports, who pound for pound, skill-wise, lining up against a BiG, they've definitely got that advantage there with the firepower.
And a firepower advantage would certainly go a long way in this scenario. But ultimately, guys, what's not going to go very much further is the time elapsed until you guys give me a prediction. I have to put you on the spot. I think this might be one of the tougher of the predictions. But remember, when we stand in unison, nothing goes in the way that we wanted it to anyway, because we were just proved. Actually, no. We did,
right.
we did not. Yeah, so
right.
yeah, if we stay on the same train, on the same path, then perhaps. But we're going to start with you, Chad.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mousesports. I just think the firepower's there. BiG are going to be relatively lethargic. They got shook earlier by the fact they lost the map to North Academy. And that, to me, is just a bad omen, a bad sign going into this one. These maps looking pretty nice for Mousesports.
I'm going to go with BiG. I think
there we go. We just talked about this. We had the pep talk. We said, let's stick together, and the guy's just throwing it out the window.
Whatever. I think Keith is hungry to show that he's a great out player. He's one of the guys on BiG who has been, for a while, not been the secondary star, but I think he has potential to be so. And Oscar haven't had a great tournament thus far. So if that continues, I think with tabseN and with Keith stepping up, because he has been playing well thus far, they stand a chance. It's going to be a 2-1 for BiG in this case.
You know what? I hate to do it to you. I have to choose one of you to align allegiance with. Listen, you don't assume my prediction. But just don't do it.
Okay, fine.
You don't do that. But you're right. I'm going to have to side with the Mousesports side of things, because honestly, BiG did have that sort of shakeup earlier, just like you're talking about, and they could potentially be out of gas. That's certainly the scenario I'm looking at now.
Yeah, I got gassed that pretty quick.
I saw them sleeping in a Twitch lounge.
Yeah, I think there's even tweets with pictures.
Yeah.
So that actually happened.
Are we allowed in the Twitch lounge?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been up there.
We'll have to find out.
I might go have a look.
Take a look around. But while we're doing all that looking around, let's go ahead and pass it over to the guys in the booth for the final time to give you the final best of 3 of the day, one with serious implications going into the semis. We've got these two dashing young gentlemen. How's it going, guys?
Dashing? Young. Yeah. I don't think either of those really describe me. More so you.
All right, guys. You know what? You take a compliment or don't.
Yeah, run with those.
Just take it away.
We'll take it the entire way, all the way home. Thank you so much, Stunna. That was nice. Dashing man himself.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. The entire desk. Dapper looking guys. But yeah, game with big implications. A bit of a German rivalry here going into this. Mousesports has to be said as being the bigger brother in this kind of a scenario, though. Totally. Even though they're not as German anymore.
Yes, but I guess, again, it comes back to... I think GodB does have a point to prove. It's been a while, of course. It's not like this happened last week or something. Quite some time has passed, but...
Might be holding a grudge still.
Yeah, exactly. Some people hold on to that for a very long time. I think he's came out and said he doesn't anymore, but, you know...
I think it's in the back of his head. Yeah, like, you have that... Either you're the kind of guy who has that chip on your shoulder, or you just let it go immediately. And I think anyone who holds a little bit of a grudge has that, sticking by them for quite some time. It wouldn't be surprising if Gob is one of those guys. And I don't think it's a disadvantage for them either. Obviously, it's just going to give them that much more, I guess, that strength and mentality to kind of stay in it, even if they get off to a rocky start. Obviously, Gob knows this team very well, so he's probably going to have done extra research into them and kind of know what to expect at any given turn.
I agree with what Chad said. I think this map pool definitely does edge more towards Mousesports as well. And even though Pimp made a good point that Keith has a point to prove, I think Oscar does too. He had a really rough start. People know what he's capable of doing. And this could be the match where he really excels and he really puts himself back on the map. So here we go, ladies and gents. Mousesports and BiG in the first out of potentially 3 maps. It wouldn't surprise me if we did go the distance again here in this one, but Mousesports starting things off on the CT side, and BiG already occupying just outside of Monster with the bomb.
I will say, though, for this to go 3 maps, I think BiG has to pick up Overpass. Going into Mirage, just a very, very strong map for Mousesports. So they're going to have to get to work early on here on the side of BiG if they want to have hope of it. And similar to what we saw Heroic do on their CT side of Overpass, aggression coming out from Mousesports over towards A, but the execution is coming in here on B.
Smoke has landed. Robs can't see a thing. Flashbang in his face, and he's going to be peering around the corner and seen at least 2 terrorists make that 3. I don't know how he survived for that long, but eventually he will bite the big one. as will Oscar to the hands of Keeve. A couple of kills did also go the way of Mousesports. We are tied up evenly at 3 apiece. And Chris J still has control over the kit. So this round still has a few more twists and turns in it just yet. GOB duel to the death is going to come out second best. And it leaves Tabson, who's normally a monster with pistols, but it's just not going to happen for BiG. They get the bomb plant, but they will concede the round.
Very solidly done by Chris J there to pick up the 2 frags. Does Rops, well, not just, well, he fluffs his shots, but, you know, definitely buys time for Chris J to get a couple of easy kills. I see all the focus being on Rops. And that allows for Chris J to even out the score and make it possible for a retake. So Mousesports get off to the early advantage here. Oscar is going to pick up a scout. Could have also seen him take a more of a conservative approach, trying to get that AWP in his hands immediately, but definitely a player who can do a ton of damage here. As for BiG, they've actually opted the route, as we saw Na'Vi go a couple of times as well, putting an AK into their best player. Tabson, no slouch by any means, and I think the entire panel kind of agreed to the fact that Tabson's been playing lights out so far.
Yeah, he's the first player that they highlighted to watch out for, but Oscar, he's there with the scout, and he's going to be picking up a second frag as well. He does tag the third, so he's done so much damage already, and he's still alive and kicking, albeit pretty low to death. He effectively got 2 kills and tagged another 2 players down to below 20 health. Yeah. He can rest easy knowing that the damage has been done. That nade should claim the frag onto GOB. Indeed it shall. And now next his mission really is to take as many CTs down with him as possible, and he's not able to do so. So take it back, Oscar. That was a sick round.
Definitely was, and hopefully a sign of things to come for him as well. You mentioned rather anonymous compared to his usual self so far in this tournament, and if Mousesports can get him to get going, then they become a completely different beast to deal with. So the purchase does not pan out for BiG. Don't really find anything at all. Just that 1 soul frag on Oscar, who just had a scout, and now he's upgraded to an AWP. That's a much tougher task to deal with.
Risky too, because he must know there's not going to be a huge amount of long-range weaponry on the side of BiG, and you'd expect to see maybe pistols or SMGs. So being in this kind of a spot, if he gets rushed down, could have cost him his life, but he's able to land the shot and back away, albeit taking a little bit of damage on the way out.
And smoke working nicely as cover, so Keeve can't spot anything as they retreat to a safer position, but opening of the round already goes to Mousesports here. This is what they're going to have to be so careful about. I'm going to have to use a lot of utility actually just to get out of that little pit area and playground, unless you want to give Oscar some early Christmas presents.
Oscar's okay to stand here for now. Has spotted 1 player on long. Don't think he realizes the second one a bit closer to him, which is going to be key with the P250. But isn't investing as much as the rest of his team for obvious reasons. Wants that up as soon as possible. Oscar with another one. And again, is able to get the pick and just retreat.
Yeah. Because he's so quick at like checking out these narrow angles, there's not really a whole lot of hope. Even if BiG are actually positioned pretty decently, it's still really tough to get a return frag on him. That's a really big strength to have as an operator. Being very elusive. GOB has picked up Stico though, so that does leave Oscar with 1 teammate less on the A-bomb site. They have rotated 1 man over.
Time is going to be an issue and a factor for BiG now though. They look to try and put as much utility down as possible, and Oscar's going to pick up a quick 4K. Looking for the ace that wasn't far off either. Switches to his sidearm, can't stop the bomb plant, which will be a disappointment for Mousesports. But I mean, Oscar, again, that's 2 rounds he's played, and well, he's beasted it. Well, played 3, but these last 2 rounds he's beasted it.
Yeah, effectively ruined BiG before they even get to the bomb site. And you can see how quick he is, especially this kind of a peak. Speedily darts out after getting the job done. It's just doesn't miss a whole lot of shots, does he?
This is exactly what I was kind of touching on before, though, that a player of his caliber to have had such a poor event so far, he does have a point to prove, maybe just to himself. Yeah, like, I can do this. I can wreck. Just give me a chance, you know. And we've already seen aggressive plays by him, and I'm hoping we're going to see much more of them because he's such an entertaining and interesting AWPer to watch when he's feeling it.
Oh, definitely. And he actually rarely has off games as well, which makes it all the more fun with the kind of play style he has. It's just like a kind of like a firecracker of excitement that's just waiting to explode at any given time. Obviously a massive benefit for his team as well. Stico misses an opportunity to find Tabson, and he's going to get immediately punished. So that's 1 weapon in the way of BiG. Tabson's going to hold on to that. Luckily, though, Oscar once again staying alive, not getting caught out, and Sunny's there to help him out as well.
Tabson will hold on to the M4 as well, even though there's other players with Kevlar. Just goes to show how much they prioritize him over everybody else. They know he is the start. They know he is the way forward. He's going to get picked out by Sunny and Oscar again. On the hunt for more kills. 2 this round is very low, and GodB could take him down. In fact, it's going to be Legia instead, and the second frag comes in. It's a 1-on-1 out of nowhere. This has gone down to the duel to the death between Rops and GodB. He has enough time to play with here, GodB, and he's actually going to leave the bomb down. So maybe trying to bait Rops into a false sense of security if he spots it, thinking that...
Yeah, Rops might actually think to himself that Gob has made his way over towards the B bomb site. It seems like Gob has picked up the sound as well. He's just going to be waiting around here and kind of let Rops walk into his own mistake, overthinking things.
Absolutely. Obviously, from our perspective, it's like, just stay there, Rops, but he has no idea where GodB is at this stage. He could easily be on B site, and there we go. The uncertainty is going to cost him dearly. So, BiG out of nowhere, just a quick push on bathrooms, get the entries, and they will pick up the round.
Yeah, they do. It's not even off the weapon that they pick up from Stico early on either. That gets most of the job done. So, a very big get from BiG there. Now they're going to have an op in hands of Kyiv, but Mousesports on their end have managed to scrape together 2 ops, and we talk about this quite often when we see Mousesports play. They have 2 very competent offers in Oscar and Chris J. Aggressive push coming in from Stico. He does have a UMP, so he kind of wants to close the gap, especially after the nerf to the weapon. He does have some pretty solid backup. And Oscar. All the stuff comes out to clear. Oscar's just going to have to move about. Leaves Stico a little bit more susceptible to danger, and he's going to get taken out by Tabs. And Tabs just does such an incredible job of finding opening frags for BiG.
I love that play as well from BiG, throwing the Molotov, making sure that Stico was all by himself, had no crossfire, no cover, no overwatch from Oscar. And then just moving into place, systematically shutting down each angle. And they've got a real great opportunity. They have no interest in the second ops. They're going to toss that away.
Just thinking long-term on the side of BiG there. Nice to see. And a rotation has come into place for Mousesports. The 2 players in restrooms here going aggressive to try to figure out what's going on here. Gob and Nex trying to sell the fake. Gob's going to get taken out, though. Oh, Chris. So quick onto Nex there. Doesn't have time to respond at all. And that's also a pretty big giveaway as to what's about to happen. The 3 remaining players on BiG's side moving into the B bomb site. Should be able to get a bomb plant here with that wall of smokes down towards lower. So definitely a fighting chance for Mousesports.
That's why this double op setup is so deadly in Mousesports' hands. Chris Shea could play in many teams as their primary AWPer. And now Tabson and Kyiv with the work cut out for them. And Chris J's going to pick up a 3rd. It started with BiG shutting down mid, going in a 3-on-5. But it will end with Mousesports victorious.
So as soon as Oscar falls, Chris J is there to pick up the pieces. And they even managed to salvage that second op that Kyiv had in his hands. So double ops are still going to be in play. That was just really well done by Chris. So quick, so accurate. And obviously, it's almost easy to forget that he is a very proficient operator because Oscar obviously gets most of the limelight for good reason, but just no slouch himself. And BiG have managed to hold on to a little bit of money, so they will get in there for another buy. Limited utility, 2 Galils and a ZZ, but that op on Kyiv could potentially play a big part of it in terms of finding an opening kill. Actually, if I were a bit selfish, or like unselfish, I guess, as leader, I probably would have dropped off my AK if I'm GodB and given that to Tabs. In this kind of a scenario, it's a pretty big difference between having that 1-shot kill potential compared to having a bit of a wily Galil to deal with.
It's going to be fairly slow and steady. BiG just taking control over the map, but they haven't really got anywhere that's going to cause Mousesports problems thus far. They've got connector control, fair enough. Most City teams are fine with that. Especially when you have double ops as well. You don't want to be playing too aggressive.
Yeah. Or if you want to do it, you want to do it as a kind of a set move, as a part of a duo or a trio, and then move back as soon as you've made your hit. And regardless if you've been successful or not, you don't want to linger around in aggressive positions all the time.
Smokes and flashes starting to be tossed towards the B site. Rops preemptively just spraying through onto Monster, hoping for the best. He's used half his magazine. Chris J with another 2, though. And now Rops is going to come to the forefront. The bomb's been dropped out. Keeve wants no part of this, and he will just run away for dear life, but he's not allowed to. Rops collects. And Mousesports, I mean, that's a very impressive round. They didn't break a sweat.
I mean, everything's working out swimmingly in-game. Still have some work to do when it comes to their high fives. We'll get there in the end, though. Still a somewhat new team. But yeah, this is definitely this start that Mousesports were hoping for. And for BiG, this is kind of the big chance they have to get it to a third map. I don't necessarily see them putting up too much of a fight on a map like Mirage, considering how good Mousesports are on it. So for Mousesports to start this well off on Overpass, it's a worrying sign for BiG, and they've already called their first timeout.
Just not letting this map get away from them too early.
Yeah. So even though they're talking things over, it's not going to lead into a buy here. Obviously, they could have elected to go for a forced buy, but it doesn't make sense considering the financial state of Mousesports.
See, BiG have got B, barking out the orders, and as you highlighted, Ben, no real purchase, just the P250 in the hands of Nex. Everybody else with Glocks. Should be a massacre, should be a bloodbath. Neither of those nades actually doing any damage, just landing on the wrong side of the wall. Now, Oscar and the rest of his team in prime position to strike. It's going to be more of a long-centric push, though. A couple players are already going straight through there, not bothering to stop. Almost being baited by Tabson. Nice shot by Oscar. Perfect crosshair placement considering the smoke was down, and this is a spot that many people will jump into, but Keeve somehow gets round the back of Sticko and catches him with his pants down, gets himself to kill, but isn't able to pick up the weapon, so he's still only got a Glock at range. This is pretty much GG as far as this round is concerned, and Chris J will be the final player to come in and collect.
I think you're very right in the assessment of, you know, Mousesports kind of getting baited into just focusing solely on Legia and so on over towards balloons there. Just gets the free entry path on long. We see some teams actually getting caught out with that even in weapon rounds as well, where they do get a little bit of a one-track mind. It's not going to be a big issue for Mousesports this time around, but maybe it's something we'll see come into play later on. Needs once more being thrown out early. Legia with a very quick move into water here. Short area. Not going to find anyone jumping, though. See less or fewer teams actually attempt these kind of jumps because of how proficient players have gotten at actually punishing it. Like he's actually going to back out. So the little map control that they had gained towards the B area initially already given up.
Mousesports going to go peering through on short side, but not going to find anything just yet. And kind of deja vu from a couple rounds prior where BiG kind of filtered out and just took control of these very similar positions.
Bit curious to see the rotation coming in from Mousesports here so early on. Oscar is not in a position where he can actually hold off both entry points towards the A bomb site. No backup either. He's in a really rough spot here. He needs to come up big.
He's going to flash his way back to safety. And he will be able to do so because, I mean, even though that flash goes over, they're not sure if he's still sat there waiting in position for a peek. So they can't take it for granted that he actually backed away or if he's in position. So they're playing it safe. But this does mean that Oscar's got back to the site now.
Oh, he spots out Keeve jumping over as well.
He may get baited into this, though. There's two players coming up closer. He's going to miss that shot. It would have been a pretty sick flick if he'd landed it, but he's going to go back in for seconds. That Molotov buys him up enough time, buys his team up enough time as well to get into position and help the AWPer out. Additionally, it actually landed on the bomb, so it stopped the bomb from going down for a few more seconds. He's tapping up through the box. He's going to take down Tabson. Not fast enough to deny the bomb plant, but fast enough to put Mousesports into a 4-on-1 and make that the round win. 7-1 start on CT side. Mousesports are off to a cracking start.
Yeah, and that one moment of a little bit of fright that Mousesports might have had there with somebody or several of the big players moving up close gets quickly put to rest as Chris J is in there with the rotation to get one of the players that actually moved up close towards Oscar. So the ops really just being the big demise here.
23 kills between the two Orpas.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. And 5 assists as well. Just
Gotta like some people every now and again.
come on pistols on the sides of the Germans.
And Stico has to be aware of the fact that Oscar has bailed out here. And does get into a safe position in restrooms as well before anything bad happens. Right now, though, it's a pretty tough nut to crack, and Oscar doesn't seem to be giving up anytime soon. Finds Tabs and the heavy hitter on the side of BiG, and it just continues.
Oscar's unrelenting. It's the first time I've really seen him miss any shots. It wasn't the easiest of shots, and it's going to flick too hard. And Sticko's there to help a brother out, and is looking to do more. Chris J and Sticko, and I believe that is only one player that's died in the last 2 or 3 rounds now.
There hasn't been a lot of deaths on the side of Mousesports just throughout the game. You can just tell by the scoreboard. Not a whole lot going the way of BiG.
Man, in the last 4 rounds, Mousesports only lost 2 players. And you can see that reflected in their economy. It's booming right now.
12K on Oscar right now. So they're definitely sitting pretty, feeling good about themselves. Not so much for the case of BiG. Still have yet to come up with an answer to this relentless omping of both Oscar and Chris J. But we've seen them focus heavily on this A side of the map, which is completely normal initially. You want to gain map control. You don't want to allow Mousesports to play extremely aggressive, have quick rotations and whatnot. But we haven't seen very many executions towards the B bomb side as of yet. So you have to consider this is something that pops into their head, and Sunny plays tandem with Stico to find 3 frags.
And you'd think as well, like if you hadn't checked the weapons, that's just an eco, right? No, they had full weapons. They just walked into connector and got battered. And now Godby and Legia completely apart. No real cohesion in play for BiG. They look out of their depth at this point against Mousesports. Godby is going to decapitate Sticko, but his partner in crime of Legia has been arrested for the time being, put in jail by Chris J, and Oscar's going to make it 9-1. This is the most one-sided map we've had so far today, at least the 2 of us have.
Yeah, and honestly, it just feels like it's not necessarily just one-sided in score. Oftentimes we see teams kind of not having the Lady Fortuna on their side and falling behind because they lose close rounds. This has just been a battering from start to finish.
Yep.
Second timeout will come out for BiG as well. They need to talk things over, and so far the most unexplored territory for them have been the B bomb site.
Well, I mean, Ven, we're into the 11th round now. Collectively, BiG only have 15 frags.
That's not a great sign. I mean,
so
if anyone was wondering.
To put it into perspective, Oscar on his own has more frags than the entirety of BiG put together.
Oh, that's how you know you're in trouble. Well, remains to be seen if BiG have found an answer here in this timeout, or they're not going to venture more towards B. To be fair, the couple of times they have gone towards that bomb site, it hasn't really panned out for them either. Saw Robs and Chris J combining for an easy cleanup a couple of rounds ago. But it does seem like they have decided to test the other option here.
Trying to get up close at the very least. This is more real estate than they've got in most rounds prior. And with CZ, you never quite know. You can't assume that Mousesports rock to a steady round after this, especially as Tabs has gone in for the first kill. Sonny's going to answer back with 2 of his own. Rob straight through the smoke, up in the grill of Legia. Will take him down and picks up another couple afterwards. Again, Mousesports, they just look like they cannot be beaten at this stage.
One of the players that we haven't really talked a whole lot about, simply because he hasn't seen that much action, Rops, obviously one of the more exciting talents coming into the EU scene in recent times. Like, one of the really cool things about him, and one of the reasons why people hold him to such high regard, is not necessarily because he has the best aim or anything to that effect. It's just that he's incredibly smart in his decision-making for a player with pretty much no experience prior to this Mousesports team. He just does very smart moves in awkward situations, and that was one of them. You know, trapped between smokes and Molotovs, managed to dive through and find 3 kills. And Oscar.
Now this is not the BiG that I'm accustomed to watching. This has been brutal to witness.
Which, to be fair, like, there's a limit to how much you can do. Sometimes players just hit their stride, and Oscar is definitely feeling it right now. And it's not like BiG are forgetting to use utility to actually try to clear out spaces and whatnot. Oscar is just hitting nutty shots. And right there, finally gets answered by Kiev, but at this point, 3 men already down. Tabson has made his way all around onto the bomb site and is trying to wrap around Stiko, but Keeve is there to snatch him away. So there is some hope here in this round.
I mean, 2-on-3 is against BiG is one of the best chances they've actually had to get around so far, which again just goes to show how incredibly well Mousesports have been playing. Sunny has been smoked off, but he's waiting for his two teammates to move into position, which is going to be from the lower part of Bank. Tabson, meanwhile, peering over with his AWP. Gonna have smoke dropping towards the truck. Lands the first opportunity he's given. We'll be looking for a second. Wasn't too far off on that either. And now you want to see the CTs push out together, but Tabson is on a tear. Rops will just take his head clean off his shoulders, though. Only a molly, not a smoke, and Keeve goes for the early peek. BiG finally back on the board.
And they do it off of a broken round as well. A lot of that comes down to Keeve being able to find 2 frags to open things up for BiG. Definitely not a recipe for success long term, but you'll take what you get at this point. You need to string more than 2 rounds together for the first half here if you want to have a shot at winning. Obviously, with the kind of a streak Mousesports have had and with how few players have actually gone down, their economy is obviously perfectly fine. Still a bit of an uphill climb here.
Oh, this is such nice play from Chris J. He's going to completely ignore the fact that there must be a player in tunnel as he's hiding on the opposite side of the smoke, and Leggy has been spotted and will be taken down. So the kill does go his way, and now Connector's going to be aggressed on from next. He will get the kill cleanly. So 1-for-1 trades typically will favor the terrorists and BiG into a position again where maybe they can get those consecutive rounds that you were talking about before, Halvor.
Well, that is pretty much the only light of hope, really, for BiG at this point. Oscar firing off a shot while blinded. Not going to connect with anything at all. Does flash out. Stiko, though, that's going to be an easy pickup for him. That's the Opera gone for BiG. Tabson getting caught between 2 targets. Not able to connect with anything. And Stiko re-aggresses once more. Finds an easy pickup as Tabson was trying to retreat. That leaves Next and Gabi with a whole lot to do. And not too much time to do it with either.
No, it's one-dimensional. They're both coming through from the same side. Gobi does have some utility, but they don't have anything on Nex. And Oscar is still alive at the back of the site. He's going to get taken down by Gobi, though. And he's trying to craft a masterpiece for the rest of his team. Lead by example. Going to get the bomb planted. Still no nades in the hands of Mousesports. This is going to be a bit harder than originally anticipated. Gobi is going to try and use the bomb plant to just hide in bank. Going to wait for the smoke to clear. Now Rops and Stiko moving up United. They've picked up a flashbang. That's going to be used and going to have absolutely no effect to Gobi whatsoever. He's still just chilling in bank. As soon as he peeks, though, if he has both players looking his way, he should be a dead man. But he's not going to peek just yet. He's playing more passively. There's the first play. He's been doing this perfectly thus far. Gobi very likely is about to clutch this round out of nowhere once again. And it would be a second consecutive round. And there we have it. The headshot comes in. Excellent work by Gobi.
Brilliantly done. Just playing patient, allowing Mousesports to have to go on a hunt for him. Doesn't get baited out by the first tap on the bomb, and that nets BiG a 3rd round. A much needed one as well. Downside, though, obviously, is everybody goes down with the bomb. So no money to be saved on the side of Gabi as well. And another tactical timeout being taken out by BiG. Obviously, they know what kind of predicament they find themselves in. They need to make sure that the 2 remaining rounds go in their favor.
And just slow things back down again. Mousesports will be able to come straight back in with another buy.
Yeah, they're sitting rather pretty. Worst case scenario for Mousesports at this point is that they have to do 1 eco for the entirety of the first half. Not a bad situation to find yourself in.
And again, that's the importance of not getting enough kills. Even in rounds when you're losing, if you just chip away 2 players here, 3 players there, it will eventually catch up with the CTs. But we did highlight that in 4 rounds, they lost 2 players. And it was never an AWP, it was never one of the bigger weapons. It's good to see BiG in good spirits, though, all having a couple of laughs amongst the team, so not doom and gloom just yet.
Might be doing pretty soon, though. Oscar's on another mission here. Doesn't decide to commit fully. Actually gets caught out, and that's a perfect flash for Keeve. to take out Oscar. So one of the heavy hitters on Mousesports' side already gone. And no real rotation coming in immediately either. They're just relying on Stico to be able to find, well, multiple frags in this case. Chris, I'm going to take a quick gander into Underpass. Doesn't actually spot the one player from BiG immediately, but like it does get spotted eventually. It doesn't take a whole lot of damage though. Actually wins out that battle with Chris.
So you're going to be trying to help out Stico, who's residing in the bathrooms or just outside of it. Going to be looking for a boost, potentially. Just on the bench for the time being. So he's actually watching long instead, so make sure they have both angles covered off. Chris J, on a measly 28 health, is going to maybe start to make a move back up towards the A side. And it's a good call, because the bulk of BiG are just outside of the bathrooms, with Keeve on long with his AWP. Solid peak timing by Stico, though. Molotov down's going to force, if anyone wants to come at him, they're going to have to go through the Flyer and Flames first, but tabseN's up to the task. And now Chris J, on low health, is going to try and make something happen. He tries to deny the bomb plant, which costs him dearly, as Nex will drill him in the head. And now Rops just wants to turn tail and run away.
Yeah. As you said, that was potential for Mouse to have one eco at least in this half. That would be the upcoming round. Let's see if they actually decide to do something off of the potentially saved weapon of Rops. The two players pass each other without really knowing what's going on around each other. There you have it. Money situation. Sunny being the lone one on Mousesports. Rob's obviously being able to maintain. Leggy actually going down to the bomb. That's not what you need. No, actually, Gabi, sorry. There you have it. Rob's staying alive. I wouldn't expect Mousesports to actually buy up into, well, it's the last round, so I would expect them to buy up into this. Obviously, my mind's going places. I have no idea where.
It's been a long day, mate.
Yes, but we're going to see an AWP on Oscar. No Kevlar. Hasn't really seemed to be that much of a factor for him anyway. It just seems like a lot of people get the chance to get a return shot. Here we go. Much needed round for BiG still.
It's nice smoke as well. I mean, it's perfectly placed. I mean, ultimately that Molotov almost acts as a foundation. You know, as soon as the smoke hits it, it's just gonna bloom exactly where the Molotov was before. See, Chris J was totally covered. No worries about it. Maybe currently 1 and now 15. It's not been his finest hour.
Robson's able to trade out tabseN as well. Continuously spamming through that smoke at Monster. Just going through, still able to get out of dodge with the help of Stico to hold off BiG. It seems like BiG are committing onto this B bomb site.
Rops wasn't far off from picking up both the kills, and they couldn't get any support. Got Beast by himself. You can see from Keith's perspective, he was choked by that Molotov, had to stay in the tunnels. So isolated both the players from one another. Keith's landed the first, not a second. There was a glimmer of hope, but Stico has made sure it will go no further. 11-4 half-time. It could have been a lot worse, though, for BiG.
It definitely could have, and the little run that they do have come off of a pretty broken round where Keeve kind of bails them out. So definitely not a whole lot of positives really to draw from BiG going into the second half. We haven't really been able to see tabseN have the same kind of impact he normally has when BiG plays, and that's obviously a bit of an issue. But then again, it's quite the challenge going up against an Oscar that's feeling it. We have LMBT, coach of Mousesports. Yeah, this has me worried for BiG, because going into Mirage, I would have Mousesports as heavy favorites coming into that.
I mean, if you go off the stats, then BiG will be favorites to take the second pistol. Of course, it's a whole different ball game now against Mousesports.
It definitely is. We saw Mousesports not having too big issues really of cleaning out that that first pistol round in the first half. Much off the back of the 2K from Chris J. Now it remains to see what BiG can actually muster.
The thing is, in these pistol rounds, you always have to have half a hope that BiG will take it, because tabseN for me is one of the best pistol players in the world. He is unbelievable with them. So he's going to be currently on long. It's Keeve that's seeing all the action, but he's going to back away to the aforementioned tabseN, who's going to try and stand tall and help his teammate out. He's coming a bit late, but Keeve actually doesn't need him after all. 3 kills in quick succession, and tabseN on long will make sure that Oscar plays no further part. Rops maybe able to get the drop on Legia, who's looking to double his frags right now and won't be doing any of that. 1 in 16. Feels pretty bad, man.
Rough situation to be in. That feeling of not being able to contribute to your team, especially when you're in a really rough spot. Rops just trying to do as much damage as possible. Finds Keeve. Also spots out GaBi. Tags him through the wall. Might be able to find him as he bails out. I'm not going to be so lucky, though. He is nearing the bomb, though. Does have a player on his back.
I love the little fake that Rops did as well. He faked like he was going to run towards the T side of Connector, and then quickly started walking. And I think that's ultimately what got him the kill in Connector. The player was not expecting it. But now he does have the bomb. He's got enough time as well. If he can take down GaBi to his right-hand side on long, he could just make a run for the site, but therein lays the issue about being all alone. You have no idea where those players are. Could be in each or every corner.
50-50 gamble of what side to peek out on doesn't pan out for him, and Keeve struggled mightily for the first couple of bullets to connect with anything at all, but managed just to righten his wrongs, find 3 frags, and that pretty much put BiG in an unlosable situation. Even though Rops did his damnedest.
Oh, the Molotov. Perfect timing as well. Not going to do damage, but it's just going to stop the initial push.
Yeah. Only Chris J manages to slip by, and he's legging it towards long here. But it seems like BiG has an idea that might have been a chance of somebody slipping past, so they've already fallen back to the bomb site. Spots out Chris J. So no element of surprise on the side of Mousesports. But again, it doesn't seem like they have any real idea or any real wish to actually commit to anything just yet. Bomb still being down in T-spawn. Rob's thinking about picking it up, but decides to think better of it. Right now, it's just a matter of Mousesports looking for that first pick to potentially open up the site, find some, or create some rotations on the side of BiG, but nothing really happening.
We saw Oscar land a bunch of shots in the second round of the first half with the scout, and he has it again. Looks like that Deagle could be landing, but Sonny misses out on his chance. He definitely had a clear couple of shots to dispatch of, I believe,
Next.
It was Next, yeah. He's now on 27. He just got tagged again.
Slowly faltering. But now they have picked up the bomb, and they are setting eyes on that A bomb site. And right now, it's only tabseN on the bomb site. All Oscar needs is 1 lucky connection. But Keeve senses danger, wraps around immediately towards restroom, finds Rops. Could find something more here. No, Sonny's going to get the better of him. There's 2 members still alive on the side of Mousesports, but
He did so much damage, though. Even though he died, he's chunked Oscar and Sonny down to dwindling health.
Time is about to run out, actually, so...
What's the dive
yeah, you can see GaBi.
And that's why GaBi's run away. He's saying to Legia, hold on a second, mate. Wait, I'll bait. You kill him.
Yeah. That just goes to show how, you know, heads in the game that GaBi is right now. You can tell that initially thought about taking the challenge, and he was like, wait, 3 seconds left. I'm a bail out here. And even if he actually dies in that situation while bailing out, still worth it, honestly, because Sonny's going to left with absolutely nothing, and you can see 450 bucks. It's not what you want to go into the first buy round with after this.
4 NP9s as well, Van. They have the dollar signs in their eyes at this point.
And greed is good. Rob's just going to be welcomed by a bunch of nades. Next eventually realizes.
Was there a guy in there? There absolutely was, and Keeves will get 2. And again, money towards his AWP. He is fine with dying there. I know it sounds like a strange thing to say, but he actually wants to trade off the MP9 anyway. So AWP will be coming up in the near future for him.
Yeah. Actually, right off the bat, immediately had that quick buy going in. So he's set to do some damage, and there's not going to be an AWP on the side of Mousesports. We saw what kind of damage that was able to do within the hands of Chris J and Oscar in the first half. That'll have to wait for now. And to be fair, double ops on T side is not necessarily the most common occurrence. tabseN, extremely aggressive here up by Fountain. It's going to find the first frag onto Oscar as well. And this is what we talked about in the previous games we've seen tabseN with. Just so good at finding opening frags for his team.
This is a potential fulcrum point of this game as well, because Mousesports finally dipping in to get a bye after having a couple of rough rounds. They lose this, then BiG. They're going to be breathing down Mousesports' neck. And it was looking in that first half, especially when it was, what, 10-1 at one stage, that this would just be one of the quickest maps that we've seen at DreamHack Winter. Now, we've got a game on our hands.
BiG actually starting to shoot back at this point. Couldn't find a lot of connections in the first half. But maybe that little spurt at the end of the first half was what they needed to really get things going. Spots out Stiko, but Stiko with the quick trigger finger punishes him immediately. And bails out as well. So, 4-on-4 situation that does spread the defensive BiG a little bit thin.
They're looking to capitalize, hoping that one of the players rotated off, and Rops is going to get the entry. Next, oh, he gets 2 while flashbanged. I think he hit Chris J in the head via Rops. It's all down to Sunny. His team just eradicated around him. Sunny has a bit of time to play with, but it's going to start to tick against him. He knows where one player is, but it's more about the other two that there's going to be a big question mark over his head, and GodB shows himself. Big bounce back once again.
Next being the big savior of that round, obviously. The double right there. Not intended, but very welcome. Sets BiG up for success, and a nice follow-up onto Stiko as he arrives from short. And now we are getting into dangerous territory, as you mentioned. Another eco on the side of Mousesports, and BiG with a bigger or even greater opportunity to solidify their economy and really get some tracking.
And Molotov was tossed in towards the T ramp, and one on short tunnels as well. They're really trying to make sure that Mousesports have no way of rushing them. They're slowing the pace right down. A free frag for Chris J, but he's whiffed it. Can he get this kill finally? No, he can't. And that's going to be a facepalm moment. Should have had that all day, every day.
And not his proudest moment. See Stiko and Oscar moving up towards that A-bomb site. Again, it's all a matter of trying to find a pick here or there on the side of Mousesports. Oscar, though, just equipped with a Glock, so he's going to have a lot of connections with it. Stiko, on the other hand, with a Deagle, just needs one. And he does that. Well, finds his second one on tabseN as well. Might be the start of something great.
He's seen the foot. Oh, he saw the foot just peeking around the corner. But Keeve, of course, with his AWP. Too fast. But there was just a glimmer there for a moment for Stiko. We've already seen a sick 1v4 clutch he pulled off on the first day.
Yeah.
On Cobblestone, I believe it was, and nearly saw another one with a Deagle. So this vast lead that Mousesports came into the second half with has been cut significantly. This is their second rifle round.
It's quickly diminished. 5 rounds in a row for BiG right now. And they're doing it, like, still, Leggy is having a real rough time of it, not being able to really do a whole lot. But they're still managing to climb back here, so the second he starts to get things going, gotta be that much stronger.
Well, that's it, isn't it? They've managed to battle back, and ultimately 4 of their players are fragging out and 1 isn't. So if Leggy does shift through the gears, it could be the determining factor that gets BiG across the finish line. They're going to be double peeking Stiko, but that's going to cost them dearly. Chris J, it's almost like the second player was scared to shoot in case he got the team kill. Can really hurt you in times like that. GodB's going to come through with the kill, but he's been knocked down to 46. He's far from healthy. We'll pick up a second frag, though. I think he may have seen the trajectory of the grenade. Fire over, tabseN round the back, and they're looking to salvage this now. BiG look down and out. Rops and Sunny are going to go for the bomb plant in the smoke.
They do know where tabseN might be coming from, though. That makes the retake a little bit harder, but tabseN still has flash, smoke, and HE, but Rops is already on the wrap. Sunny needs to stay alive.
tabseN and Keeve against you. 2 of the best BiG members to fire in. An even trade. Keeve doesn't have a kit. If he's going to get the kill, it's going to be soon. But he's holding on to the bomb. He's going to land the frag, but there's not enough time. Even if he picks up the bomb, I don't think there is. It's going to be very close, though. But he knows it.
Oh.
You could see him there pensive, deep in thought, like, hold on a second, do I help? I definitely don't.
Valiant effort, though. And, I mean, he has the right idea with trying to pick up the kit. but not enough time, unfortunately, for them. I see Rob's making that long rotation around to get tabseN in the back. Really the altering factor to that entire round. And Mousesports finally back on the board here, first round of the second half.
And again, that's why having such massive leads is always going to be a burden to the likes of BiG, because Mousesports, they've just been getting hammered. They win one round, oh, still 12-9 in the lead.
Yeah.
Forget about all those rounds that preceded it.
Pretty good feeling. And all this considered, this is a very different scenario than what Mousesports found themselves in when they garnered their big lead on the CT side, because BiG have been losing members, so they don't have that bank built up. Like, it's going to go down to chrisJ as the move in towards the B-bomb side happens in a flurry. And just like that, the entire defense of BiG is gone. Just about the entire team. Only Keeve left, and he's on the opposite side of the map, looking for any sort of potential movement towards Playground, but that's not happening, and already Rops is on the hunt.
Doesn't want to allow Keeve to keep his AWP, and he won't. The cool thing there from Mousesports is on the entry, 3 separate players got entries onto 3 separate defenders on the B site. So
yeah.
Everyone was pulling their weight, everybody firing all cylinders. And, well, I think it's safe to say that that big comeback has definitely been sidelined for a little while longer.
It has. And again, you see the massive difference. You mentioned it. If you just get a pick here and there, 2 or 3 frags once in a while as a team on these eco rounds, it's going to have an impact on the CT's economy, and that's what happened here with BiG. They're going to have to be forced to eco. Obviously, not a situation where that's really something you want to do. You don't have the luxury to playing around with a whole lot of rounds. Mousesports probably just making sure, talking things over, that they don't run into any sort of stacks or do any foolish mistakes and throw away what should be a 14th round.
Pala.
Always present. Again, seems like early moves is going to be towards B here. Twice in a row, Mousesports have found success on this bomb site.
Just a Deagle with 4 USPs. Hoping that Next can put that Desert Eagle to use. chrisJ is already hungry for some kills, though. Legia is down. Rops! Beautiful shot, and he's going to get a third as well. Entry King, again, of course. To keep things into perspective, it was against pretty much a full-on eco against BiG. We're holding off for a better buy in the next round and trying to come back from a 14-9 deficit.
Still needs to land your shots, and Robs, who had a very quiet first half, simply because, you know, nobody actually showed up at his bomb site, has managed to quickly wrap up 21 frags. So he's actually surpassed both chrisJ, Oscar, and, well, everyone on his team is actually topping the scoreboard as of right now. He's really come into his own. Oscar actually only with 1 frag here on this second half.
Hasn't really been required. And the other thing as well, like, I can't remember him having an AWP too many times.
No, the economy of Mousesports never really got settled into it. Now he does have one, though. He's already looking out for that common spot. And BiG actually opting to go for half buy here, but obviously just want to make sure they have all the utility in the world that they could wish for going into that potential last round. So that giving a big opportunity for Mousesports to get to map point with a very nicely timed flash. Legia and Co. is going to find the first opener. Rob's gone, the heavy hitter of the second half. Sunny, though, and Stiko combined with 1 frag each, and all of a sudden, the bomb site is open for business.
B coming out worse for wear against chrisJ, and now Keeve. There's DZ and Kerblot on the hunt for a potential weapon. And he may get it as well. Sunny's gone down. Stiko's going to be low, but it's more Oscar that he has to contend with. So we are going to have 6 map points in this first out of potentially 3 maps. But again, and I totally agree with you here, I think this was the map that BiG needed to win if they're going to take us into a best of 3. Or the 3rd map of a best of 3.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised to see BiG being able to topple Mousesports going into a map like Mirage. But we've seen strange things happen already today. Heroic managing to bounce back on Overpass after getting a bit of a beating on day 1. So anything is possible. And this game is still not over. Double ops coming out. Well, Keeve with a bit of a alternative way of firing and getting chrisJ. And results the same, though. It does get picked up by Oscar. Still man advantage in favor of BiG, though. Stico's tagged up heavily as well.
Good bait. Mousesports into a false sense of security. Now that tabseN's actually pushed past that Molotov. But Oscar still gets the entry onto him. And you can see that before this round, the kill difference between the top and bottom of Mousesports was only 4 or 5 frags. On BiG, it's about 15. So it just goes to show that Mousesports, everybody is having a pretty good time with it. This could be the last round of Overpass. Health advantage does go in favor of BiG, though. Stico's exceptionally low.
Yep. Utility advantage also in their favor. All right, now 2 players towards that A-bomb site. But no real indication of what Mousesport wants to do in this kind of scenario. Spread out fairly thin. Rob's moving over towards that B-bomb site, making sure that nobody's lurking, trying to get a backstab. Ooh, dangerously close from Stico. Maybe there is some magic to his Santa hat. Different Santa hats this time around. Much better performance as well.
Good shot by Legia. Can alleviate some of the pressure, and now he looks to back away. And instantly, with that kill, Nex is rapidly rotating from A. Legia's going to miss that second shot. It looked like he would have been landing that. In doing so, it could afford the bomb plant. And indeed it shall. Oh, Stico's picked up another one. It's on God B. He has a great mind for the game. Very good at clutching. Try and fake. And goes for the frag and does land it. So now it's all down to Oscar. The way he's been playing, you expect him to land the flick, and he shall do just that. God B taken clean out of his boots. And Mousesports robbed to a 16-9 victory.
Impressive showing for Mousesports. Even though it got a little bit labored there on the second half, they still got the job done. And that's a map stolen away from BiG, and now they have to go into Mirage, which is very much home turf for the multinational side.
Especially off the performance that we just witnessed, for me, it's going to be hard to see how BiG bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, the dangerous thing about Mousesports is, you know, during the first half, we highlight Chris J, we highlight Oscar, and then during the second half, it's Drops and Stico to take over the show and just kind of show you how it's done. And even then, you know, there's nobody on Mousesports' side who actually like fell off or didn't have a game or didn't have any sort of impact. Sunny as well had rounds where he definitely came through clutch for Mousesports. So, you know, going to probably one of your favorite maps, you have to feel pretty good about yourself. The fact that everyone on your side is actually delivering the goods.
Absolutely. Well, we need to head to a quick commercial break, and while we're away, definitely check out the Strafe app for everything CSGO related. So we'll be right back, guys.